we interrupt your previously scheduled life because TSTL, the Too Stupid to Live podcast, just had to do an emergency TSTL with a little extra spice episode about the latest craze that is taking the world by storm, and that is heated rivalry. Hi, everyone, and welcome to Too Stupid to Live, a podcast about romance novels, $5 and under. I'm your host, Becky Feldman, and yes, this is a special bonus episode of TSTL with a little extra spice. You guys, I am so excited about it that I am introducing the show without a script. I know it seems like I talk extemporaneously whenever I introduce the show, but no, I do have like a little bit of an outline. I don't even have an outline right now. I am just introducing the show because that's how important and necessary this episode is. I have on the show Alan Pintal, who was on the show previously to discuss a hockey romance. I consider her to be the hockey romance expert in my world. So I just had to get her on the show as soon as possible to discuss Heated Rivalry, which is out now. We discussed both the TV show and the books. I will say there are spoilers galore. So if you don't care about spoilers and you've read the books, feel free to keep on listening. If you care about spoilers and you haven't read the books, I'd say maybe listen to this episode when the season's over or when you're done, because I would hate to spoil anything. But the book is just so good, and we had to bring up moments as we were talking about the first 4 episodes of Heated Rivalry. I also, because this was an emergency, I forgot to even write a synopsis of Heated Rivalry for our discussion, and I usually do a synopsis. But then I realized I was like taking notes when I was watching it the first and second time. And I am terrible at taking notes, first of all. But when I was looking at them, I'm like, oh, maybe these notes could form like a bit of a non-rhyming poem. And maybe I can use that as the synopsis right now. So let me just read you. These are my notes. This is all I wrote down. Breathing, bodies, sweat, bikes, adorable laughing scene. Butts. They hate each other, I love this. My pearls have been clutched. They love each other, but their love language is hating each other. I am so happy this is a TV show. So I'm just going to say that's the synopsis for Heated Rivalry. And now, please enjoy this episode of TSTL with a little extra spice, a discussion on Heated Rivalry. Oh my God, Alan, welcome back to this podcast, Too Stupid to Live. This was like 911 emergency podcast. Thank you for being here.
Of course. Honestly, I was happy to get the call. Hockey bat signal, hockey romance bat signal in the sky. Because yeah, I've been like weirdly out of the like book talk game in a minute. So I honestly like heard whispers about this series. So when you reached out, I was like, okay, I should dive into it. And now I'm like, I'm in the damn deep end. I'm all in it.
It is my new religion, I have to say. I am obsessed with the show. I finished the audiobook this week, and it was just one of those things where I was like, okay, everyone's talking about Heated Rivalry. People are like texting me, have you seen it? I watched the first episode and I'm like, okay, I pretty much have finished my episodes for the year, but then I was like, I need to do an emergency Too Stupid to Live episode. Get Alan on because you are the one person who you introduced me to hockey romance. You read them, and I was like, I need to get her thoughts.
I'm so glad. Yeah. Okay, so did you watch before reading?
I watched, then read, and then watched again. I did like a watch-read sandwich.
Yeah, I think that's smart. Honestly, yeah, I just finished the 4th episode last night, and I was like, wow, I wish I had time to watch all of them again. They're so good.
They're so good. The acting is so good. Like the way the characters are written are so good. But before we get into it, I just want to know, what's your latest like with your hockey romance reading? Are you currently reading it? What are you into these days?
So sadly, 2025 has been like a book slump year for me.
Same. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I was like, I feel like it's a lot of people I've been talking to have been like, yeah, I haven't been reading as much this year. I do think part of it was like, I was like, I'm finally going to read more of the books I already own. And so like
smart.
right,
Yeah.
but like for some reason, most of the books I own are like literature. And so I think I was
Right.
like
Yeah.
not enthralled by them. And so then listening to Heated Rivalry has like kickstarted me back into like, what was I doing? I'm just gonna go back to reading smut. What was I trying to do? Who do I think I am?
Right. Oh my God. I love that I love this journey for
Thank
you.
you. Yeah. What about you? Are you besides Heated Rivalry? Is there anything you're into?
I mean, I've still been reading like for the podcast,
Mhm.
and I like get into like my minor like obsessions with like romantasy, or then like there was one like I don't know, weird I mean my weird monster obsessions, obviously.
Yeah.
Um Luckily like it's nice having the podcast because it does force me to read. Like I have to read. So even if I'm in a reading slump, like I'm like at least 2 books a month are getting like read
Mhm.
by me,
Great. Yeah.
Um so yeah, so right now, like have just been like I'm on a lot of like authored lists, and they're giving away a bunch of like free holiday novellas. So I've just been downloading a bunch of those and just
Amazing.
kind of absorbing
Yeah.
them. Yeah, just free reading.
That's great. Yeah. Uh, yeah. It's always fun to just like get into the holiday spirit through books.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Or it's like I think I'm in the holiday spirit, but it's like I'll read about other people in the holiday spirit. Like this is enough for
Yeah.
me. I'm glad these books exist, all this stuff. Um but it's so funny about things speaking about being glad of things that exist. It's heated rivalry is what we are talking about today, and that was like one of my first notes when the show started. So I want to know like what are your thoughts on like the current state of hockey romance, and how exciting is it to see heated rivalry on the small screen, if you will?
Oh God. I think
That's a big question.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here are my thoughts.
Sorry.
No, I love it.
I'm gonna start
Yeah,
big.
I think it's just one of those things where, like, the studios are finally catching up to, like, yeah, there's a huge, huge market, um, for these types of shows and movies, you know? Because I mean, this book was written, what, in, like, 2019 or something? So it's like it's been around for a minute. It's had a huge following for years and years, and so it's, like, finally, harnessing that fandom and then, obviously introducing it to more people. It's like, yeah, duh, finally, like there are people who will watch these shows. And I think it's like unfortunately that thing of like, oh, romance caters to women, so it's like it doesn't it's not as prioritized. So it's like hopefully with the success of this, it will be prioritized more, you know? 'Cause I feel like there have been like rumblings of, popular romance authors getting movie deals and stuff, but, like, not really going anywhere, but it feels like right now there's a lot in production, so that's exciting.
Absolutely. And because it's interesting, I feel like when God, A Court of Thorn and Roses, like I know that was optioned, and
Mhm.
then it wasn't moving forward, and people were just like, I don't
Yeah,
understand. And then like and I'm like, I don't think the people making the decisions understand just how popular this genre is. Like
mhm, yeah,
you are as a man probably aren't reading these books, but people will watch it, and it's like okay, finally like heated rivalry has like crossed the barrier.
yeah,
I feel like there have been a lot of people saying like, can you believe it, like hockey smut is taking the world by storm, and like as a romance reader, are you like, welcome to the party, you're
truly.
years too late?
Really, yeah, it's like, "Oh, this is like." Yeah, I've been, like, talking to people about it, they're like, "Well, I didn't know this was a thing," and I'm like, "Oh my god," there's like, within the hockey or within, like, the romance genre, there's huge, sports subgenre, and within that, I feel like hockey subgenre is, like, the biggest out of all the sports, which we don't tend to
Agreed,
realize
yeah.
why, but, I'm sure it's, like, a lot of, aggression and, like, hockey lends itself to, like, really being physical more so than other sports. I was like, "That's probably a big part of it."
I think so too, because like again, I could be wrong. Again, I don't know. I was listening to our episode, and you're talking about how you never watch hockey. I never watch it. Don't know the game. Um, but it seems like that's a game where fighting is kind of encouraged more so, I think, than in other
Yeah,
sports. So that's probably why there's an element of hockey that just like the stakes are raised.
totally, yeah. Yeah, yeah, like, it's definitely part of the culture to like, literally fight your opponents. Have
Yes,
to.
yes.
Yeah.
You have to.
Mhm.
And I think like it also kind of like lends itself to like what I think is making this show so popular is that people love like their enemies to lovers
Mhm.
kind of trope or enemies and lovers kind of trope.
Yeah.
But for this, this is like our version of like star-crossed lovers, but it's not like a mafia romance. Like there
Yeah.
isn't two like elf kingdoms at
Mhm.
war. You know what I mean? Like this is just the stakes are still high, but it's still so joyful because it's a sport.
Yeah, 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 where it is, like, you understand, like, of course, there's a huge rivalry that probably goes back generations or whatever, so that's why they
Mhm.
can't there's, like, that element to it, as well as, yeah, just, like, the secrecy of having to be a gay hockey player in a major league.
Yeah. It seems like the way, and I felt this way with the book that we read, The Penalty
Mhm.
Box, earlier. Like being being a hockey star seems like the best life because it feels like sometimes you play a game, you have a nice house and you like win awards all the time.
Yeah, right? Yeah, um, yeah, I was, like, gonna comment on what their schedule is, but I don't know what it is. Yeah, it does seem
Yes.
like I don't know, I should have done the research of, like, how long their season is, but it's like, yeah, you play the game you've been playing your entire life, you make a bunch of money,
Mhm.
and, I don't know, you retire by your time you're 30, which is wild.
So wild. And it's like something like with these, especially seeing these two
Mhm.
characters, is like how young they are and they're like making like financial investments. And I'm like, that's
I
nuts.
know,
You guys
yeah,
are nuts.
buying up an entire apartment or 2 apartments just for privacy.
Yes. Yeah. And I'm like, again, like I feel like it's kind of like that it has like a billionaire kind of thing of like,
Mhm.
oh, don't worry, I can buy our way out of any inconvenience. So our love can
Yes.
flourish. And it's like,
Yeah,
God,
yeah,
I
yeah.
want to be if all I have to do is know hockey and know how to play it, and
Yeah,
then my life would be
yeah. Oh, yeah.
complete.
I think that's also, like, another element to this, like, because, like, billionaire romances are also a huge subgenre, so, like, there's definitely that element to this because, of course, they're the star athletes, so they're making a bunch of money, as well as enemies to lovers, as well as we have to keep this a secret, and also, like, that trope of, "Oh, he's, like, a bad boy, he's mean to everybody," but then you see Ilya be so tender to Shane and, like, stroke his hair, and it's like, "Oh, that's the
Yes.
dichotomy we all want, right?"
Absolutely, and I think, like, part of their performances kind of add to, like, this like, when you read it, like, we know we're romance readers, we know that they're in love with each other and how it's gonna end, but I feel like the actors maybe I'm projecting as well, but, like, the way that they, like, show, like, I feel like they fell in love with even though they won't admit it, that characters, they fell in love at first sight and like you could see in their eyes that's like every time they're in this scene together I'm thinking they love each other,
Yeah.
they absolutely love each
Oh my
other,
god.
this is no doubt,
Yes.
yeah.
It's so good. Yeah, like you mentioned, the eye contact, like, there's little scenes where it's, like, just the way they're looking at each other or, like, their reactions to
Hmm.
each other are just, like because sometimes you think, "Oh, when a book gets adapted, you obviously lose all of the inner monologue, so it's hard to see what they're feeling," but I was like, "These 2 actors are doing what would be their inner monologue, but it's all just being projected through their
Yes.
eyes," and it's like, "Wow, this is so good. It's so good."
Yes. Yes, you are so right. And like I like that's why like cuz for the longest time I was like if I were to like if I wanted to like immerse myself in a romance story, I always like my preference would always be reading over a movie where you have to like cut everything down and I'm like curious like do you think maybe cuz like okay, we have a TV show, it's kind of serialized, it's spread out, like is this lending itself for these more like private moments to be with the actors because there is a lot of like non-dialogue
Mhm.
of them either texting or just thinking and we're just like fascinated.
Yeah. Yeah, and I feel like I love that they do that because I feel like, so much media is just, like, kinda handing you exposition on a platter, but this is, like, you kinda just, like, get everything through their performances and not really having to be
Yes.
handed, specifically, explicitly told, like, what they're feeling or what they're thinking.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's like one of those things where it's like, again, you know that you can tell what the inner monologue is
Mhm.
and you're just like with them. And it's like, you don't, yeah, like you said, it doesn't need to be like given to you on a plate of like, he's feeling sad because he doesn't have his boyfriend, or like whatever.
Exactly.
It's like, we
Yeah,
don't.
yeah, like, um we could get into spoilers of the show.
Let's do it.
Right.
Because like we both finished the book. I'm
Mhm.
so excited to see, and so I think we have to spoil. So
Okay.
I can put in the intro that we are spoiling it.
Okay,
Read the
great.
book,
Great, great, great. And you're
whatever.
caught up
Yeah,
on
yeah.
all 4 episodes that are currently out?
Caught up on all four
Okay,
episodes.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like, the moment that really sticks out to me that I think everybody's still thinking about, that I had to watch a second time, was the whole club scene to
Yeah.
All the Things She Said by Tattoo, where it was like there was very little dialogue, and, like, even just that moment of
Yes.
Ilya seeing Miles Rose's, like, co-star and him kinda, like, putting it
Hmm.
together, like, "Oh, he's here, that means, Hollander must be here," and then him looking around for him, I was like,
Hmm.
"Wow," all of that kinda, like, being said, because the first time I didn't catch, like, who that guy was, and I was like, "Oh, that's the co-star, so that's he's looking around for him because he knows he must be here." I was like, that was, like, just for them to just, like, let that play out I was like, "What a great decision."
Absolutely. And again, like no dialogue. Like you just kind of just sense like, I guess like Ilya had like a terrible game that night. He's like, I want to fuck, and that's a terrible impression. And and it's like obviously when you had a bad night, the person you want to go to is the person you love,
Yes.
and of course he is cursed with this love
Like,
for Shane, which
yes.
is so
Oh,
beautiful.
the yearning, the yearning.
The yearning is insane.
Uh-huh.
And like this was a scene in the book, but I thought the TV show did it so much better when Ilya wins these, or like when his team wins the Stanley Cup for the first time,
Mhm.
and Shane is watching like with his buddies on TV or something, and he's in the book, it kind of is just like, hey man, good for you. Like, good, or like he's thinking, good for him. I know he wanted it. He's a good
Yeah.
guy. But the show itself, like, dude does this like zoom in close up into his eyes, and you're just like really seeing a guy who is just so happy for another person.
Yes,
And I'm like, that scene was amazing. Again, no dialogue.
right?
It's just a shot.
Yeah. Which is like, yeah, it's like amazing that I got that because it's like in the book, it's almost like over explained why he's happy for him, but it's like, yeah, we
Hmm.
get it. We get it through just like the look in his eye.
Exactly. Like we're not as like dumb as I mean, maybe we are, but but
Yeah.
we could be. We don't know. We don't know. Um, but it is like just really nice to kind of see just like joyful love
Mhm.
portrayed on a TV show like this, where I feel like I don't know, sometimes like TV and real life like doesn't let us have nice things.
Mhm.
Like people break up, someone gets sick, you know what I mean? And so to just like have like joyful love, and that it could still be so engaging. Like
Yeah,
heartbreak doesn't have to be the only plot line.
exactly. Yeah. And they give us those tender moments that we can just enjoy their love for each other. Um,
Mhm.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, and it's like I feel like the show has been doing a great job. Like, obviously, it's so very sexy. Like, the first episode, I was like, "Whoa!" Then I was like, "Oh, yeah, it's HBO. Of course, they can show this much." But, like, balancing it enough with, like, yeah, it's gonna get hot and heavy and very sexy, but also very tender. Lots of cuddling, lots of reassurances. Also, so much consent, which I was like, "Oh, thank God." All the check-ins. Thank
Yes.
you, Ilya.
Thank you. The fact that he says, "Is this okay?" like is
Right.
so beautiful.
Yeah, multiple times.
Yeah, and like just like checking in with each other, even like in their first sex scene, like which I like still think about, like they're like it's very interesting the way it's done, where it's like I feel like in other like other pieces of media, like it's always like a bunch of like cuts in different positions, or
Yeah.
like someone cuts to someone's face or just like their hand or something. But this is like you see in time beginning to end of their first hookup, and
Mhm.
it's very sexy because obviously these are like two very good looking men,
Yeah.
but it's also like done in a way where it was just like, should we even be here? Like, do you know
Totally.
what I mean?
Yeah, it's so intimate, like yeah, I guess that's like a
Yeah.
good point where it's like, it's not that we're, um, um, oh, what's the word? Like, voyeuristically I guess we are, but it's not like a show for us, like, this is a private moment between them that we get to watch, if that makes sense, right? Like, it's not
Yeah.
for us.
A hundred
Yeah.
percent. Yeah, exactly. Like I feel like maybe I could be wrong, but like when, especially in like kind of straight like heterosexual love
Mhm.
scenes, like it is very titillating, and it is like the way it's shot is like, oh, this is supposed like to like not get you off like in the way a porn is,
Yeah.
but to titillate, you know.
Mhm.
And this, like, I don't think its aim wasn't to titillate. It was just to show two people coming together, and we're just like, babe, you're lucky you're in the room, TV
Totally.
viewer, you
Yeah.
know.
Also, I was like, I had to Google it because I know they use an intimacy coordinator, and that person's name is Chala Hunter. I hope I'm just saying that right. So shout out to their intimacy coordinator because I was like, this is like a also a good example of why that role is so important because it's also like there's a lot of
Yes.
sex scenes, but they're also like different from each other, you know? 'Cause I think sometimes when movies rely on like there's gonna be a lot of sex in this, it is all kind of the same. But like the way this was shot was like way more dynamic and felt more fun.
Absolutely, because like each sex scene that they do, like it's obviously moving the plot
Mhm.
forward, but they're also like in different states. Like sometimes they're mad, or sometimes they're like scared, or you know whatever, and just like kind of, or you know, obviously they're so in love with each other and they can't admit it to themselves, and so it's like, well, how do we show this in a sex
Mhm.
scene? And it's just so well. It feels very well thought out as opposed to like, actors have a good time. Let's just
Exactly.
roll.
Yeah, yeah, or yeah, 100% agree. 100% agree. Also, I, like, read somewhere that the author of this book the series oh god, Rachel Reed, um
Rachel Reed,
yeah,
yeah. Mhm.
like, she's a bi woman who's married to a bi man, and she, like, ran the sex scenes by him to make sure they were accurate, so it's also like, kudos to you
Nice.
for, making sure you're doing your research.
Absolutely, because like, yeah, again, like I sometimes feel like, and I hear the criticism of like when kind of we have a woman who is writing two gay men
Mhm.
and they're writing a romance between two gay men, but it clearly just for female straight
Yeah.
female readers,
Yeah.
you know, and you're like, okay, like hang on a second. But like this felt very like, again, maybe like some of like the smaller non-romantic details aren't in there, of just like them being really sweaty or something, you know,
Yeah.
we don't need that, but we don't want that.
Yeah.
But it does feel very true to life, of just like bringing lube and like talking about like their bodies with each other,
Mhm.
and like how he used a dildo, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it is very like, yeah.
Totally. Yes. Yes, yes, yes.
Mhm. So, what is your impression of the actor and the way he's portrayed, and maybe even also in the book, of the character of Shane Hollander? Because I'm like, I love this character
Mhm.
so much. He is a literary hero.
Mhm. I love him. He was, like, like, such a sweetheart in the book that I'm like, I'm so
Yes.
glad they found someone who can, like, portray that. Also, honestly, I was, like, so happy that they kept him, Wasian because like,
Yeah.
sometimes adaptations will completely just whitewash a character, so I was like, "Thank God
Of
they kept
course.
his ethnicity the same because representation everywhere." I was
Mhm.
like, "Yeah, he's just such a sweetheart." And, like, for him to
Yes.
be able to, like, play, like, kind of that, like, awkward, closeted, trying to figure things out, but then also kind of be, uh, so, confident when he's the hockey player, Hollander.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh,
Mhm.
that's not easy," and he's doing it well.
No, it is not, because like, yeah, because I feel like he lives his life on a pedestal. Like he
Mhm.
can't even go to the store without someone like buying him a free drink, you know,
Right.
whatever, or you know, whatever. But then when he's like with Ilya, he's like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. But like, it's not like, but he still is just like, that's fucking hot. Like
Mhm.
I am so turned on right
Yes.
now, and it's like, oh, like it's really fascinating to kind of see, especially like in the book it would be like different sections of a chapter, but
Mhm.
here it's just scene
Yeah.
where he's like kind of going through these like rapid changes, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. I think that was also, like, because like, yeah, listening to the book was, like, kinda hard 'cause like, each new section would just be, like, the date, and it was hard to keep track of, like,
Hmm.
how much time has passed. So I do, like, appreciate in the show
Yes.
how it will be more like this many months later or something, just to kinda, like, feel
Yes,
that
it is
time piece
so
better. Yeah.
helpful. Yeah, because I feel like with a lot of romances that I've read, like usually like there's an it, this they have a sweeping almost decade long kind of love affair, you know. But the way it reads, it feels like they fell in love in 2 weeks, or not 2 weeks, but like, you know, in other books it's usually a couple of months
Yeah.
the story takes place within, and this is just like, no, we are watching two athletes at the peak of their career, but we don't care about their career. We
Mhm.
just care about their love
Exactly.
life.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
I know.
It's like a sports documentary or like a sports biography without the sports, which is great.
Totally. Yeah. I think they do well with, like, showing just enough hockey to, like, remind you, like, "Oh, yeah, there's hockey in this." But, like, we don't have to see
Yes.
too much of a game or anything.
Yes, and it's just like we get that it's a sport
Mhm.
and we get that it's important to you. We don't need
Yeah,
anything
yeah, yeah,
more than that.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
very much, like, just in the background to, like, paint a picture.
Seeing the way like Shane is and then seeing how his character evolves in the book, like again, this is going to get spoily,
Mhm.
but like are there any particular scenes from the book that you're looking forward to seeing um portrayed on the TV show?
Ooh. Oh, okay, yeah, yeah, very spoilery. Oh my god, I can't one of them gets hurt. I can't believe I forgot who was it. Shane gets hurt, right?
Shane gets hurt.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And
Mhm.
so, like, yeah, that I'm excited to see that because it's like, in the book, it's very much like the inner monologue of Ilya's like, "Yeah, I can go see him because this, and this reason. Nobody will think it's weird." So it's like, I'm curious to see how they're going to show why he's not scared to go to the hospital, you know?
Right. Yeah. Cause like I think what's so fascinating and like also as Shane learns about again, spoiler, sorry everyone,
Mhm.
Elia's father,
Right.
the level of concern that they show for each other that like it's almost like they can't show how hot they are for each other in
Mhm.
public, but they also can't show how concerned they are for each other in
Yes.
public. And it's like that's almost like more painful in
Yeah.
a way of like, I'm worried for my friend, or like my friend is or not even my lover, like my soulmate is mourning and I can't even like hug them.
Yeah.
You know,
Not
like
even.
it's so like oh.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Also, like, to touch on that quickly, like, just kind of a minor change in from book to TV show is like, yeah, in the show, that like moment where Ilya has to take a call and he's talking to his dad. Like in the book, it's very much like we're seeing that through Shane's perspective, and so like he doesn't understand, so he's kind of just like, oh, it sounds like this, and this, but like getting to
Mhm.
see and hear the full conversation, like makes the story so much more heartbreaking, to see like how bad it really is.
Absolutely. Yeah, cuz it is just like cuz I feel like in the book it's supposed to show maybe some sort of divide,
Mhm.
of like okay, they're speaking literally in different languages. He doesn't know what's going on. And then there was that lovely moment in the book, again, jumping ahead,
Mhm.
when Ilya is feeling a lot of pain, emotional pain, and he was like, and they're on the phone, and Shane is just like, I know it's hard for you to like talk, but just say what you want to say
Right.
in
Yes, yes,
Russian,
yes,
and
yes.
I'm just like, oh,
Right. And then Ilya like
right,
sneaks in
swoon,
like a little lovey dig to, or not lovey, like a lovey little thing for Shane, but he's like, they won't
yes,
know it. Oh,
yes, oh, it's so sweet. Like I can't believe that we're just like enjoying a story about two people just like yes it's about the sex and it's
mhm.
about the taboo and stuff, but like we are swooning over two people just being nice
Yes.
to each other.
Yeah. I mean, just like the little moments. Like I feel like the show is like a good example of just like what exactly the female gaze could and should be. Like
Yeah.
I think
Hmm.
like one of my favorite moments is them at the press conference, and then like Ilya just kind of like touches Shane's foot with his, and I was like, I had to like pause so I could like giggle because it's like, yeah, those like little
Yes,
stolen moments are like what contribute to like the bigger story.
absolutely. Yeah. Like there's just like so many times where I'm thinking they love each other. Like I'm watching alone and I'm like, they love each other
Same,
so
same, same,
much. And
same.
it has nothing to do with any of the sex.
Mhm.
It's all about like the sweet little like gestures or the fact that they're worried about each other or I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's so sweet.
yeah, and it's also like such a smart move, or like I something I love that it's a pretty faithful adaptation, right? Like I've seen TikToks of
Yeah.
people
Hmm.
like showing passages from the book and like the scene in the show, and it's like almost word for word, the dialogue and the
Yeah.
action. It's like, yeah,
Hmm.
that's what we should be doing with adaptations, right? Like keep them faithful.
Right, because the book like has a lot of and the TV show, which it takes her in the book, like has like a lot of really funny
Yeah.
parts, like just a lot of funny lines. They have a lot of funny thoughts,
Hmm.
and like I'm like, and that's what makes the two of them so charming. And so I'm just like, yeah, but it is surprising to kind of see like they are like how much of they're going in like order of the book.
Mhm.
Nothing has been, it doesn't feel like anything like that is so important in the book has been watered
Right.
down for the
Yeah.
show, you know?
Yeah. Like it was almost like just almost a copy and paste, you know?
It kind of feels
Yeah.
that way, yeah. And they're just like, how do we just like add it? Like, this is like good as it is. And it's like
Mhm.
also like maybe as a romance reader, kind of, and as like someone who like wants to like pursue a career in the entertainment
Mhm.
industry, it is kind of like refreshing to be like, oh, we don't need some guy coming in being like, let me get do save the cat on this. You know what I mean? Like it's
Absolutely.
just like it's
Yeah, and also, like, that the author, also worked on the script. Like, yeah, of course, she knows this story inside and out, get her in there.
Yes, and that's like another thing. It's like when I interview authors and like I feel like they know about story
Mhm.
structure what any like just as well as any TV
Yeah,
writer, you know, like just the way like I feel like we like when they talk and they're talking about their process and it's like this sounds like writing like a pilot or something like it's like oh we're all on the same page
yeah,
here like
yeah, totally. Yeah, it's like yeah, exactly. Story structure is gonna be the same, just, slightly different if you're doing a book or a TV show or whatever, but it's, like, the
yeah
same.
yeah exactly it's all in the
Yeah.
details. Okay, we got to talk about Ilya
Yes.
Rozanov, our lovely Russian.
Yes.
Um, it's so funny because when the show started, again, I thought of our book that we
Yeah,
reviewed, and
also
I
a
was like,
Russian name.
"Are there?"
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, is there? Is like, I imagine that there's a lot of like characters from Russia in these in hockey romance.
So far, yes. I feel like every single
Hmm.
hockey romance series I've read, there's always yeah, there's gonna be a a big Russian guy.
Yeah, and I like it. You know, like I really like a. I love a grumpy Russian.
Yeah, it's like I'm sorry,
Sounds like a drink.
like
Yeah.
a stereotype, but it's like, oh, it's good. Yeah.
I kind of like it. And I know it's such a stereotype, but like the way he does his character, like I love the way that actor delivers every single
Yeah.
line of just like, shut your stupid face.
Yes,
Like I'm just like, I am here for it.
I
Like I
know.
love his
It's
delivery.
like something I wanna incorporate into my vernacular is just that like, "Tell people! Tell people!"
Yes.
That was great.
Yes. Yeah. What do you think about like the actor's portrayal of him?
Amazing. It's truly just like I feel
Yeah.
like I keep saying it over and over. It's like I feel like they found like
I
the
know.
perfect Ilya and Shane. Um, yeah,
Yes.
because like there's I feel like I caught it more in the show, but like thinking about the book, it's like, oh yeah, that was there too. Just kind of like the almost like ironic detachment of like pretending to not care,
Hmm.
but it's like, oh, this guy cares very deeply. And it's like you get
Yes.
so much more of that because you get all of his like, little micro expressions. Um, right, like,
Yes.
there's
Yeah.
a moment in the TV show where Ilya's, like, spooning Shane from behind, and he's waking up, but then he, like, pretends to be asleep when Shane wakes up, and
Hmm.
it's like, wow, tiny moment that I don't think was in the
Hmm.
book probably, but it's, like, says so much about, like, how he really feels.
Yeah, like there was also this other moment that kind of was like again, this was probably done in a montage and it was
Uh-huh.
just such a quick scene, but it made me laugh because like we all know that he's so in love with Shane
Mhm.
where he's watching it was like a year later and now Shane has won the
Yeah.
Stanley Cup or whatever, and Elia is mad but also really happy for Shane, but also like real, but like pretending to be really mad, and so he's like, "Oh, it should have been
Yes.
me," but like but it's like he doesn't care. He's so happy for Shane.
Yes.
Just the seeing like that nuance
Yes.
is so
Yeah,
good.
that line delivery was, like, perfect.
Yes, I was like, oh my god. And again, like I know it was just a quick thing, but
Mhm.
it's like almost as if like I don't know, like I'm like the actors read the books. They read the
It feels like
books.
they must have, right? Like, they get it.
Yes,
They
yeah.
get these
Yeah.
2 characters on a deep level.
I know. Yeah, they had to have read it. I mean, it's weird because it's like I feel like with like Bridgerton,
Mhm.
just comparing it to it's like, oh, did the actors read the book? You know
Right.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, did they have to? This it seems like, oh, if you want to portray these characters, you have to read the
Yeah.
books, like these weird this isn't this is a romance, but this isn't like a where violins are playing,
Mhm. Yeah.
classic versions of Taylor Swift, and it's all about like what they're wearing and
Yeah,
stuff, you know.
yeah, yeah. Uh, though, like, yeah, small note on like costuming is great. Because yeah, that club scene that broke all of our hearts. It's like
Mm,
it's very funny to like remember that was 2016. So it's like thinking of
yes.
what Ilya's wearing. It's like, yeah, that is very. It's like in its own way a little period piece, but it's like,
It
you
is.
know,
Yeah.
um, yeah. I don't know. I don't know where I was going. That I think I just want to keep talking.
You're so right, because like I feel like there's those scenes where like they have a moment where the dad's like, "What's YouTube?" or he has like
Right.
a
Yeah.
BlackBerry, you know, and like again, it's so stupid, but it's like because like I feel like if I were a lot older, I'd be like, "This is takes place nowadays,"
Yeah.
but like looking at it, I'm like, "Well, this is a historical act, like a
It really
historical
is.
depiction of 2008."
Yeah,
Like,
it is. It is. Yeah, even just like the small thing of like, yeah, nobody has their just phones out recording all the time because it's like, yeah, that's what would happen
yes.
now. But back then, it's like it was like right before smartphones were freaking everywhere.
Yes. And you know what I just realized is like they sexed a lot in the book
Hmm.
and in the show, and like I feel like I wonder if like sexting was new at
Mm.
the time, and like what that was like, do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
of just like cuz like I feel like so many people are like they start sexting cuz they know everyone is doing it
Uh-huh.
versus being the first one to do it. Like I don't know,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. That's a good point. I know. So, yeah, I don't think they ever like FaceTime, or at least not yet, right?
Not yet. No, but they do in the book. Don't they FaceTime? Yes.
At some point.
Or Shane like wants to
Okay.
FaceTime.
I know
Yeah.
I'm like listening to the first book now, and there's a lot of Skype, which is also very funny to think.
Yes. They're not saying that's another thing. They're saying Skype and like FaceTime and not Zoom, which is so like, well, if we want to be accurate to 2015
Yeah, yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever,
It's Skype.
let's be accurate. It's Skype. Yeah.
Yeah. Also love Ilya's accent. I've like watched TikToks of people saying that he's like his Russian is on point, and I was like, I think that's just, like,
Yes.
obviously it's like so integral to the character. So like, props to the actor for really doing his homework.
Yes, he sounds so like, and he just delivers. He honestly like delivers the way, like hearing the way the narrator delivered it in the audiobook, like it is very like similar. You know what I mean? Like it
Yeah.
does feel very like curated, like the accent and like the delivery of just like I'm so over it, but I'm really
I
not,
know.
but I
Yeah.
am, you know, and
Yeah.
like
Yeah. 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 I know. Also, like, yeah, quick shout out to the audiobook narrator because he was like putting in work doing a Russian accent and then also like a non-Russian
yes.
accent.
Yes, yes, and he also had to do like all the other characters. Like even when like the narrator did like a female character, you
Mhm.
know, it's like, oh, okay, you like you didn't just do a high, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Like,
You get, yeah. I did think that was funny in the book when Rose is introduced. The audiobook narrator's like characterization of her felt very like 1930s sultry. Like, why don't you come over here? I was like,
yes.
whoa, who is this? And then to see her
Hmm.
just be like a very sweet girl next door in the show, I was like, oh yeah, that's probably more accurate.
Yes, absolutely. You're so right because like in the yeah, the way that she is portrayed, it's like, oh, okay, like she probably like you know, like is like has all this makeup on and fancy clothes, and then you meet her and she's just like eating fries,
Yeah.
you know, and it's like, oh, I was not
Yes.
picturing that.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Which is like, yeah, that's how much the voice really paints a picture for you.
absolutely, absolutely, and like also maybe it's like our like impression of like what celebrity is
Yeah.
like, even though it's like it takes place in 2012, like we still think that like. Well, celebrities all even like if we're portraying them, they're all like Betty Davis. You
Yeah,
know what I
right.
mean?
Like you
It's
have
like
that accent.
yeah, yeah, yeah. They're just like old. They're like for some reason in old 1940s
I
clothes and like
know. I know. I know. If I could
talking with
like
cigarettes. Yeah.
talk about the first book for a second, because you know,
Yes, please. Yeah.
props to the audio narrator because it's the same one for both. Because it's hard to do all
Hmm.
those characters, but there are a couple that drive me crazy in a good way. Like the coach is so like gruff and cartoony, like everybody get on the ice. It's like who is this? And then Kip's accent is like so cartoony Brooklyn. I was like, "Okay."
That's
I know,
fun.
it is fun, and then I'm like, "Okay, in the show, there's, like, almost no New York accent."
No, he is such like a and I really liked that episode as
Mhm.
well of Kip and was it
Hunter?
Scott
Yeah,
Hunter? Yeah. Yeah, and I actually I think I'm gonna listen to their
I think you
audiobook
should.
next now that I
It's great.
finished.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it kind of like again spoil feeds into something that Scott
Mhm.
does in the book like feeds into a great moment in Heated
Yeah.
Rivalry where like again it made me like be like oh where again these two are not in the same place at the same time,
Mhm,
this is not a sex scene at
mhm.
all, but like Scott comes out publicly and Elia right away was like I want to come to the
I
cabin and I
know,
was like
I know.
oh
Oh, truly. I know. I know, which is
I had
yeah,
to oh god
I know, I had to
I fainted I fainted
I had to
I was
rewind.
just like this was
Yeah,
beautiful.
it was great. I know, I was like, "I can't wait for that moment too." Also, because I think
I
one of the next
know.
episodes, the title is Cabin, so it's like, "Oh, stuff's gonna happen."
Oh, thank
I
God.
know,
I am so
I
excited.
know.
So I'm glad that they're like cuz like this is another thing. I was like, "Oh, if this is an adaptation of Heated
Mhm.
Rivalry, like are they going to have to like slow down the
Yeah,
pacing of their love story?" And it's like, "Oh, okay, like it wouldn't like for me for some reason I was like, "Oh man, this scene's not going to happen until like season 3."
yeah.
But like
I know, it's
oh,
true.
I hope it happens.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
hope so.
Oh,
Yeah, and it is
yeah.
funny because I loved the 3rd episode as well,
Mhm.
because I was like, "Yeah."
Yes.
But it is funny because I think you and I had the same, experience of listening to Heated Rivalry than watching the show, and so it's like the moment of Scott coming out was, like, such a big surprise because obviously we didn't read the 1st book, so I was almost
Right.
like I feel I understand why they're setting up Kip and Shane or Kip and Scott in
Mhm.
Heated Rivalry now so that we know it's coming, but it also feels, I'm sorry, like a little bit of a disservice to that story to kinda just, like, shove it in there instead of giving it its own
Mhm.
6-episode arc. Because like, they
Yeah.
are condensing that story down so much just so we
Right. Yeah, like, it felt like that episode just was the entirety of the book,
Mhm.
and, but I'm assuming that, like well, you didn't finish reading the
Yeah, we're
I'll
done.
read it.
Yeah,
I'll read the
it's
first book,
yeah,
and
yeah.
then I'll have a clear end to the sentence, but I think you're right, like, because, like, I feel like, again, in something like another TV show, like, you would have, like, your A plot line and then your
Mhm.
B plot line, and that's where, like, kind of the Kip and Hunter plot
Yeah.
line would be, but you don't even think, Hunter's gay until,
Yeah.
episode 3, and that's on us, obvious or unless
Exactly.
you've read the book or,
Mhm.
whatever. Um, and like I think you're right in the fact that they kind of like okay they are shoehorning this in
Mhm.
to like obviously move like they're taking this beautiful love story in order to move the like to propel or like hold up the more important love
Yeah.
story and I can understand why it's like oh this is whatever but there's still it was still a
It
charming
really
episode
was.
and there's still charming
Mhm.
actors but yeah I totally see the point because like it's them that kind of makes this huge pivot for Shane and
Yeah.
Elia in Heated
Yeah, yeah.
Rivalry.
Yeah, which is like yeah, like a interesting choice to make because it's like if you don't know what's coming and it happens in Heated Rivalry, it's like I feel like it could still stand on its own without having to see the whole backstory. Where it's like, yeah, just let them give them their own give them their own full season. Because also like that Game Changers, the Kip Scott story is like very insta love, and so it all happens very quickly, like in a more traditional romance where it's like I think just a few weeks. But seeing it all in
Yeah.
1 hour makes it feel like even wilder. Like it feels like it happened in a couple days, you know, because it's we're only seeing it in 1 hour.
Yes. Yeah, there's like a bit of like whiplash there because you're just like, well, what's the time
Mhm.
frame from because like it's not linear or it's not linear like the way it comes
Right.
in, or like it is, but it isn't. And then yeah, like it's all gonna come together in the
It
end is our
will.
point.
It
But
will.
like, but yeah, I feel like it's like it kind of does feel a little
Mhm.
whiplashy in a way that which is understandable because like I feel like 75% of their lives they're on tour playing hockey doing this stuff, 25% of their lives are their personal lives, and we're only there for the 25%,
Mhm.
so it feels like, oh, 2 days have gone by, when in reality it's like, no, 2 years have
Yeah.
gone by,
Yeah.
you know.
100%. Yeah, totally. Also, just wanna put it out there because this shocked me to my core in a good way to learn that
Hmm.
the Kip and Scott story was originally a Stucky fan fiction.
I heard that yesterday. Stucky, for people who don't know, is Captain America
Bucky.
and
Mhm.
Bucky, yeah. um, and I noticed like there was like this someone like posted on social media of like him like running, and it was like mimicking the Captain America run, and I'm like,
Yes,
whoa,
and it's like
yeah,
the
this
same
is
shirt, which I was
yes,
like, yeah,
yeah,
props,
and like
yeah,
this,
props to the director and the costume department for like being open to keeping those parallels because obviously the Game
mhm,
Changers book is so different from her
right,
original fan
yeah.
fiction.
It is so much fun to kind of see things like not, I mean, this is the terrible example, but it's the only thing I can think of right now, but like with 50 Shades of
Yeah.
Grey, how it used to be Twilight fan
Oh
fiction,
yeah.
or like some like, or the Hating Game, how that was like Star Wars fan
Right.
fiction, and it's like so, and it's like so different now,
Mhm.
but it's like it just goes to show you how the importance of fan fiction
I know.
in culture.
Yeah.
It's helping to
Yes.
evolve our own culture, our
Yeah.
own
I
stories.
know. Like I don't know. I love hearing when a show or a story was originally a fan fiction because I'm like, yes, good. If any fan fiction
Yeah,
writers listening to this, like, keep doing your thing. Like, keep producing those works.
absolutely. Because like it's like I have this theory, and I could be
Mhm.
wrong, that like in a way, couldn't like everything essentially be fan fiction? Like if we were to like if anyone writes something new
Mhm.
and it's like an idea within a certain genre, like it could like I don't know, like it could be like, oh well, this is a little, clearly you're inspired.
Yeah.
This could
Everything.
be fan fiction. Like,
Oh,
yeah.
100%. Yeah. Everything is actually Twilight fan fiction.
Yes, I mean that's
It all
at the
goes
end of
back
the
to
day, it
Twilight.
all goes back to Twilight.
It all goes back.
It all goes back to Twilight. Yeah, like Twilight's the Bible of
Oh, yeah. Of romance.
the
Everything,
21st
everything
century.
Twilight.
Yeah, everything. It's the Aristotelian story structure is
Yeah, yeah,
Twilight.
yeah. It
Um,
all go back. It all go back.
there is a moment that I'm really looking forward to in this series is when, okay, you know the moment, spoiler alert, they get caught in the cabin by
Mhm.
Shane's father,
Yes.
and
Absolutely heart wrenching.
heart wrenching. But I have to talk about
Mhm.
it because, like, again, like, I think my brain was going towards this like Brokeback Mountain kind of storyline where they're like, we never have to see each other, you know, or like we can't see each other again.
Oh, yeah.
Like this, like hardcore, very like traumatic third act breakup.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I was like, but they end up like, or they're in love with each other at this point.
Mhm.
They have said I love you to each other at this point. Like they really are, they're like there's no turning back, and kind of the way they have to like get out of this hole is to come out to Shane's parents.
Mhm.
And so when they change, they have to change to go to Shane's parents' house, and Elia is wearing the jersey of the team that he plays
Yes.
for. And that, and Shane was like, you have to change. And I'm like, that is such a funny moment. It
Yes.
is so good.
Yeah. Like amidst all of this, it's like, don't do that. The smallest little thing.
I I hope that that's a moment that they include, because you like, I don't, because like Ilya like is known obviously in his world for being like he's a shit talker,
Mhm.
and it and but this is the one moment when he puts on the jersey.
Mhm.
It was just like, oh, this is just here. I'm just gonna put it on so I can be ready to go come out to my boyfriend's parents. And it's like, don't wear
I
that. Like
know,
it was such a beautiful
right?
moment. I loved
Yeah. Yeah.
it.
Also, just like a expertly inserted, just like comedic relief moment in like the midst of like heavy, heavy drama.
Yes, because again, we're all just like, oh, are they gonna break up?
Mhm.
Like, is this gonna like are like I also like, again, just knowing this kind of story, like are Shane's parents like, is Shane gonna like lose his relationship with his
Yeah. Like, are
parents?
they gonna like absolutely blow up at him?
Right, yeah, or just like be like, you can't, we'll never talk to, like, is like, are we about to see the disillusion of like someone's like solid universe in their
Mhm.
family, and then it's just like that light moment, and it's like, oh yeah, like at the end of the day, this is a comedy. It's very real,
Mhm.
or it's about the romance, but let's not forget it's a comedy,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I forgot about that moment, but it's gonna be great.
it makes me laugh so much because like I feel like it's something that I would do where I'd be like in my like those things that like you overthink something and then you make a decision and it ends up being the exact wrong thing to
Mhm.
do
Yeah.
altogether. Like I'm trying, and I'm like I just related to that too much of just like not being able to read like
Right.
you want to be able to read the room, so you do something to show that you can read the room,
Mhm.
but then what you end up doing is just not reading the room is so human and I love it.
Yes, 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 yes.
Okay, I'm gonna put you on the spot.
Okay.
For people who are loving heated rivalry, do you have any recommendations for romance novels that you have read that kind of can give people like the same kind of warm and fuzzy feeling?
Ooh, and it doesn't have to strictly be hockey?
Oh yeah, I don't think it does. Yeah, but if you have hockey recommendations,
Mhm,
obviously
mhm.
we're all hockey experts
Yeah.
now.
Uh-huh. Oh no. Um, this is
I'm putting
where
you on the
I
spot
know,
here.
this is where, my shame comes in that I don't read enough queer stories, and that's on me. I'm trying to diversify my reading list. So also, listeners, give me more MLM, hockey romance stories because I wanna read
Hmm.
them. But as far as, like, yeah, hockey romances, um, that also are very tender and sweet, the Pucking Around series by Emily Rath,
Hmm.
um, is very hot, very kinky, very sexy, and that's like a why choose romance. So there is, yeah,
Ooh.
the first book is one woman and three hockey players. I
Oh,
know
I
it's
love
great,
this.
and then there is bi representation. Yeah, I don't want to give too much away, but that is a
Mhm,
very fun read. Um, yeah, I'm trying to think if it's, like, as warm as and fuzzy as Heated Rivalry. I don't think it is. I feel like it gets pretty hot and heavy pretty quickly, but there are still, like,
mhm.
very sweet
Yeah.
moments. Like, the how it ends, it's like there's, like, something happens that I don't think I've ever read in a romance story that I was like, "Wow, that was, like, a
Mhm.
really good, like, big romantic gesture." So
Oh, like the grovel, or not the grovel, but like the come
yes, yes,
around
yes, so,
was
like,
like,
trying to get back
that's
together,
cool.
yeah, so if anything if anything to draw you in, I would say read it for the ending, which I thought was very sweet.
Oh,
Mhm.
that's such a good recommendation.
Yeah.
Well, Alan, thank you so much for doing this last minute SOS
Oh my gosh.
emergency episode.
Honestly, thank you.
Warning,
I know.
warning, warning.
I was like, "Do we need to do a recap after the last 2 episodes come out?" I'm available.
Yeah,
Yes.
we got to do it. Okay, yes, actually, I might cuz like there's like I've been like writing down things
Mhm.
as I'm watching, like I'll like pause and like write down as if I'm texting
Uh-huh.
someone and I need someone to text. So we should text
Text
each
me.
other
Yeah.
cuz like I'm just like writing like,
Honestly,
just
yes.
butts like in big letters, and I'm like someone needs to see me type butts. Like
Yes. Oh, I can't believe we haven't even commented on how great all the butts are in this show. They are great
I love
butts.
so many great butts. Like I'm just like there's just great butt shots. Like butts and breathing is so like sexy
Yes.
and like
Butts, breathing, eye
oh
contact, amazing.
mhm.
Mhm, mhm. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. They really are very wonderful physical
Mhm.
specimens and it just elevates the love,
It
if you
really does.
will.
It really does. It's like, yeah, it's so funny because, like,
Yeah.
at the core of this whole story, it's just, like, a very sweet romantic relationship.
Yeah. That's what it
Yeah.
is. And it's like, isn't that what like anything is like get with the program weight, people are loving these
Yeah.
stories. They've always
I know.
have. They
We want
always
the
have.
swooning.
Yeah.
We want the yearning.
Seeing some like in this day and age our where our own leaders where or our government is currently gridlocked,
Uh-huh.
to see like a show where we're just seeing one person legitimately care for another
Yeah.
person is just like what we need, and I think that like it's almost like showing like it can be like the modern hero's journey,
Yes.
that like, oh, this isn't about like fighting off evil anymore,
Mm.
this is about learning to care about another like that's what all of us need to
Yes.
learn, and romance is doing that, and this show is doing that,
Yes.
and yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Also, like, even, like, the male friendships in this story are also, like, yeah, good representation where it's like, you can be nice and tender with your buddies too.
Yeah, like there's nothing like weak about being
Yes.
vulnerable. Like and it's showing that like, oh, if you being brave is being
Mhm.
vulnerable, and it's like, oh, if you like telling someone how you feel, or like openly caring for someone, or even admitting to yourself that you like care for someone, like those are acts of
Yes.
bravery,
Yes. Ah,
which we need more of.
yes. Shout it from the rooftops.
Yes. Yes. I just want everyone to watch this show.
I know. I'm like, I've been putting so many people onto it where I'm just like, yeah,
Oh, good.
I gotta spread the good word.
Yeah, I was at a holiday party last weekend, and I think I talked about it the entire
Oh,
time. Like people were like, "How are you?" And I was like, "So in Heated Rivalry, you have two people, and
I know.
like, what are you doing for the holidays?" I'm like, "Watching
Oh,
Heated
yeah.
Rivalry. It's about two hockey,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but yeah."
Absolutely. I'm like, honestly, like episode 5 comes out tomorrow. I might wait till 6 is out so I can just watch them back to back.
I know, because like because it's like, can I go a whole
I
week
know.
without
I
it?
know.
You
Yeah.
know? Yeah, or or we're recording this on a Thursday night. Am I gonna stay up until midnight and just watch it at
No.
12:01 a.m.?
I'm
Like
yeah,
we don't know what's gonna
we're
happen.
gonna hop off of this record and just immediately put it back on.
I mean, that might happen too. We don't know.
No,
Like
I'm not saying anything.
this is
I
unknown.
know.
Yeah,
Honestly, I
yeah.
might just go back and rewatch that club scene that had me crying at 2
It
AM.
it was, and like it was, the club scene was so good, and I was like, is it the song? Like, because I remember when that song came out, it's so angsty, and I guess maybe that's like what added to
Yeah.
it. Whereas in the book, they made it seem a little like, not hijinks, but not as like, there's no tattoo in the background of a
Yeah.
book when you're reading
Yeah.
it, you know
Yeah,
what I
yeah.
mean? So there's no like dagger to the
Yeah.
heart, you
Where it's just
know?
like, "Oh,
Yeah.
wow, we're here at the same place." It is kinda like, yeah, played a little bit for, like,
Mhm.
ha-has.
Yeah, yeah, of just like, again, like like but here it's just like, no, we're gonna break your
Break your
heart,
damn
and
heart.
you did.
To that song. Also to, like, watch I watch everything with subtitles, so, like, watching the lyrics because
Me
there's
too.
no dialogue, I was like, "Oh, this song came out how many years ago?" But it's, like, perfect. It, like, perfectly encapsulates
Yes.
their relationship and what they're going through in that moment. Uh,
Absolutely. It's like almost like Tattoo wrote that song for this very moment,
truly, like,
to which I say thank
I
you.
know. Like,
Yeah.
it's almost like a nail on the head, like, if you didn't know if it was already a song, it felt like it was written specifically for that scene.
It really did, and I'm so glad the song is, like, making, like, a comeback,
Mhm,
and just, like, again, it's just hardcore, very open vulnerability
mhm.
of just, like, terrible emotions, and or, like, like, feeling of like, open vulnerability about the heartbreak we all feel, and it's okay to feel.
Yes,
It is okay to
yes.
feel.
And also it's like, just that moment of, like, if you've ever been sad in a crowded club, I feel like Charlie XCX's "Party for You" also encapsulates that feeling so perfectly of, like, being in
Yes.
a space that's, like, so rowdy, lights are blinking, but, like, having that moment of seeing someone across the room, I was like, "How did they capture that? How did they capture that feeling?"
It's so like because it's like, okay, how do we show something just like it's happening, like you're having an internal
Mhm,
heartbreak, like your feelings are internal, you're in an external place. Like everyone, it's like when you like get any sort of like bad news in public, or just like any sort of like rejection in public, or you're feeling any sort of like big emotion
mhm.
in public, or you're just like a bombshell in your life is being dropped when you're in public, and it's just like, yeah, of course an angsty song should be in the background of of the movie version of that
Yes,
moment. You know.
absolutely, and specifically gonna be "Tattoo" from now.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And it was just like, it makes me feel like, because like, I am Like, I'm like, I heard, like, I got excited because I was like, I know that
Yeah,
song. Like, I was just excited that it wasn't a It's like, I've heard of this
yeah,
song.
yeah, yeah,
I remember
yeah, totally.
it.
That's
I'm not
really
an
one of
old
those songs I
lady.
hadn't thought of in many years.
No, and then guess what? It was catchy then, it's
Yeah,
catchy
yeah,
now.
yeah, so
Yeah.
happy it's, like, back in the public zeitgeist.
Well, I am so happy you were here. Alan, thank you so much. Tell us where we
Thank
could find
you.
you and all of this stuff. Like if you have anything you want to plug or
Yeah,
promote.
mainly most active on Instagram. You can find me at Hey Allen, HeyAllyn. I post about live comedy shows I do around Los Angeles if you're in the area. Sometimes they're live stream too. You can also find me on TikTok, same username. I haven't posted in a while, but you can go back and watch all my earnest attempts at trying to do book reviews on there.
I love it. I love it. Yes, no, this is you did hard work then. It should be
Thank you.
celebrated
Thank you so
all for the rest of
much.
the TikToksy in life.
Thank you.
Yes. Well, thank you, Alan.
Truly an honor.
Yeah.
I am so happy to be the resident hockey romance expert here.
I hope you all enjoyed this episode of TSTL with a little extra spice. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you have a vulnerably brave rest of your day.
Progress!